Now they're obsessed with over this Cliven Bundy said something racist. Who gives a fuck?
Look at him. Of course he said something racist.
Who cares how he feels about blacks? That's irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything.
Elephant.
What
did he say?
That he doesn't know if they were better off when they were slaves. I mean,
right. We have that. I'm sorry. I do know this.
He's saying that basically because the way that a lot of them are on welfare and the way the government, all right.
This is a perfect smear campaign, though, of somebody that obviously is right wing, is obviously looking to defend himself against what he sees as an overreaching government. And this is a great way for the liberals to fight back at him. Now, he did say the comments. They didn't put the words in his mouth. But again, they were taken out of context. Were they offensive? Yeah, some people would say they're very offensive. Others would say, this is just the way this guy talks. What the fuck are you going to say? Is he a racist, or was he just being completely honest? He's saying that the government puts black people in a position of being subservient again. When you put a bunch of black people in housing complexes and subsidize all of their income and make them completely dependent on the government, it does give this plantation mentality that goes down. And that's was he eloquent saying it? No, he's covered in cow shit, for the love of Christ. Look at him.
We got the actual audio.
And here's one reason they want to push this story.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes harder to defend him.
Right.
If he's a terrible racist and he's for slavery, you can't defend his position now, and it makes Hannity or any of these guys who defend his position look like racists for defending his anti-government position.
And if the Bureau of Land Management comes to take his cows off of the land again, or he has a problem, how many people are going to show up in his defense again and be looked at like, oh, look, there's a whole collection of racist domestic terrorists. That way, if there is a standoff, it's easier for the government to gun down people that are racist domestic terrorists than just American citizens defending themselves. Watch it. It's coming. It's coming. I know it. I've seen it. False flag operation, calling him a racist.
Well, this is what he said.
But there was a thing. I'm wondering.
Ooh, real audio. Nice.
I know, right?
Going back to real audio.
How old is this audio?
It just happened.
This part here?
Yeah, he said it in an interview just recently.
Why do we have this shitty quality
Well, do you hear
version?
Do you hear the CD
yes.
player? Like there's some.
What happened?
I was wondering what that was.
You don't hear that
Yes.
sound?
Did Willie Geist apologize for this guy's...
What happened?
Do you hear that sound right now?
What's that?
What sound?
Jim already said that he heard it. You're not going to...
I swear to God, I hear a very low something in the...
It sounds like a motor.
No, there's something very fucking distracting and annoying.
It's not the CD player.
No, it's Sam's
That's
voice.
not on.
See what I did there?
Wait, let's see. Tell me if you still hear it.
Oh.
Hearing test for everybody.
Oh.
No, take the CD out
I'm
of
going
the
to raise
CD
my right
player.
hand up when I hear it in my right ear. Left hand. What? Hearing test.
Oh, it's not the CD
I loved
player.
hearing test day.
I still hear that. Wait, is this? Can you hear this? Wait.
I found the...
Of course.
I didn't hear anything.
I found the problem.
Oh, what?
I'm going to fix it right now.
Oh, what was it? What was potted up?
Wait a minute.
That mic? Was that mic on? Oh, it's Jimmy's mic. There's the problem.
We found the problem. Okay, we're good now. We're good now.
There's somebody in Florida cheering.
Oh, Mars.
What happened?
I don't know.
Mars.
There's some kind of hum or motor or fucking... Why is these clips, they're supposed to sound better than that?
I mean, I don't know. They might sound a little better, but this is just audio from his press conference.
I'm curious, by the way, did they play this audio on the Today Show or no?
Probably not.
I don't know. I think they just paraphrased him.
There was no audio of the original comment because he did it for the New York Times or some newspaper.
You know, the Negro, that's what he said. The Negro.
Have they repeated any of that on the Today Show? I'm interested.
Sure.
Probably not.
I don't know, but they're probably playing at least some of this
They
audio.
probably worked around it a little bit.
Well, if they're playing the audio, my question is, are they apologizing
for the
because
message.
it went out over their airwaves? This was a message given out in seriousness.
Right, yeah.
So why is it fine for them to spread that message?
Exactly.
Just because they scold him after?
Yes.
By the way, one last thing on the Joan Rivers thing. Charlie makes a very good point. The joke, it was only about the size of the room, not about the actual girls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's hear this guy. How do you say his name?
Willie Geist?
Cliven. Cliven?
You didn't say this?
Walter Cliven, Cloven.
I don't know. They're still talking about it on CNN.
What is?
They're still obsessively talking about it.
You have the right people who are being held out as representative of those issues, and that you don't get distractions like this, because then the legitimate conversation becomes second to one that is very unproductive, to say the least.
Oh.
All right. I want to go back and
Good for Cuomo. Good for Cuomo.
Now, maybe he's talking about the race being the important issue, and the whole government land thing is the unimportant thing.
That.
Good for Cuomo on that one. All right, here we go.
But there was the thing. I'm wondering. Cliven Bundy's wondering about these people. Now I'm talking about the black community. I'm wondering, are they better off with their young women aborting their children? Are they better off with their young men in prison? And are they better off with the older people on the sidewalks in front of their government-issued homes with a few children on them? Are they better off? Are they happier than they was when they was in the South in front of their homes with their chickens and their gardens and their children around them and their men having something to do?
Something to do. It's called slavery, something to do.
I'm wondering. And that's the question I put before the world. Are they better, or were they better then? I'm not saying that I thought they should be slaves, or I'm never even saying they was better off one way or the other. I'm wondering if they're better off.
He's trouncing eggshells.
I'm wondering.
He's stepping all over the eggs.
He's an absolute horse's ass.
He's making a point that he believes in a very simple way. He's not an eloquent speaker, obviously, but do you take his message away because he doesn't know how to tiptoe around that political correctness to say it?
Right.
Or do you take his message, which is that the black community is very reliant on the government, and it is akin to slavery in some way, shape, or form, and there seems to be a lot of unhappiness and discontent in the black community. And was there that same unhappiness and discontent when they were slaves and in front of, like they said, their house, gardening, doing whatever they want? Like, that was what he was saying. That was his point.
They were probably less happy when they were slaves.
Well,
yeah,
I think
it's a terrible
Is it
point.
reasonable?
I think black people were less happy as slaves.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not a terrible point. I'm saying that his point is getting missed in the words themselves.
But are slaves allowed to have like satellite dishes?
I think now, if you were a slave, you could have satellite, but you got it off of the main house.
What do you mean?
Oh, so there's just the one dish and it bounces to the quarters?
Yeah.
But you still...
The field, they don't get satellite. The house, they
But where they hang out at night? Like, could they get, some satellite programming?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Satellite for slaves.
They definitely don't get the multi-room DVR, that's for sure.
No.
No way.
That's true.
Can
No Netflix either.
No, definitely not.
No.
Satellites for slaves? T-shirt?
Satellites for
T-shirt idea, or is that too much?
That's a good one.
Is that too much?
That's a good
idea.
one right
Sure?
there.
That would
That's
describe
what?
us.
That's a bad one?
Satellite slaves. That's us, all right. Yeah, that's...
He continues.
Oh, he does.
He seemed to think that I said that they were better off as slaves. I didn't say that. I said I was wondering. I'm still wondering. Were they better off? Now, let me tell you something about what I've seen with the Negro community.
The Negro community.
I didn't understand. I've been a boy here. I didn't hardly see a black boy until I was probably a teenager.
Black boy.
And I didn't understand their custom and cultures, and I didn't understand a lot of things. But I'll tell you what, I am happy to see those people be able to have the freedom and liberty and be able to feel like they're Americans.
Guy's an American treasure.
To be able to move and talk and choose a religion.
Yeah, I love him.
The fact that he's saying things like black boy and those people, that shows you. I don't think he is being a racist. Like, nobody would speak publicly like that, trying to prove I'm not a racist, and say black boy.
Right.
It's just not the way you would do it.
But
you would do it eloquently.
This is the way he talks. And people have to realize that in between Los Angeles and New York City is a lot of fucking real estate in this country. Look down at them round circles when you're flying over.
Right.
People talk like this.
Yeah. If you don't see a black kid until you're in your teens, I mean, that's not the way most of us grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question too, it's not just the language. The question is specifically.
He's wondering.
He's just wondering.
He's just wondering.
Wondering. Like, I don't think any of us have ever posed the question, would black people be happier if they were enslaved?
Oh, I wonder.
I was going to go with I'm wondering.
I'm wondering.
There's, I think it's a terrible question and dumb. And obviously, no, but.
He just wonders if the Negroes.
He's a wondering.
He's a wondering if the Negro community is happier now than they would be as slaves.
He referred to slavery as something
to do. The men had what he called something to do. Like a hobby.
The ingrained superiority.
This guy is a treat.
Wait, would you have dinner with him?
Oh, I would have him over. Come on, I'm a wondering.
That guy would probably walk out of Anthony's house and going, he's a little too extreme for me.
Wow, that man has got some issues.
A little ignorance on that Anthony.
He's a racist. That is some real.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm just glad that the children were here to hear him tell his story in genuine old world jargon.
I'm gonna go down a limb and say there is no way to pose the question that he was asking
gibberish
eloquently. It's not a matter of eloquence.
He's just wondering.
Wondering.
Yeah, and that too.
But it's not a thing to wonder.
Yeah.
Like, the answer is obviously, would you be happier if you were enslaved? No.
Well,
nobody would.
Sometimes I wonder what's going on with the community.
Yeah, you wonder?
Which community? The Negro community, as he said.
You can't talk like that.
What?
And I think you're way past the point of wondering.
When I was when I was in Central Islip,
he's made his judgments.
Oh boy, has
it's gotten so bad. We'll watch a documentary on boxing where they're showing these horrible black neighborhoods, and we'll go, I wish Ant could just see this.
We do. We were when we were out pointing out things.
Like, oh boy,
what do you think Ant would say about that?
About that one. Yeah. He's a
treat, huh?
He is a treat, that gentleman.
I would say a national treasure.
Yeah, exactly. When I was going to elementary school in Central Islip, that was the first time I really hung out with a black boy.
You can't talk.
What?
See, this is the problem. He's becoming a role model for people everywhere.
That's insane.
Yeah. Can you imagine saying that?
He's hilarious. Holy shit. My favorite, something to do. He took slavery. And condensed it down into what it really was, which is, there's something to do.
Yeah. Right, it kept people from being bored.
It's like a choice. Like, well, I could do nothing, or I could do this.
Yeah, right. He left out the whippings, raping the women, and selling off the family part.
Well,
he omitted that from his
he's a wondering
summary.
He's a wondering.
He's just a wondering.
That guy is a treat. Yeah. And boy, MSNBC and CNN cannot get enough of playing his audio. That's for sure.
And Fox News, I've never seen a network backtrack.
But that is the perfect way you discredit the head of this movement.
He did it to himself, though. He discredited himself by saying it's not like they put words in his mouth. They're
then he becomes harder to defend. That's all it is.
It makes it very hard to defend him at this point.
He's a buffoon.
Wait, we have the actual audio clip?
Just a buffoon.
Before you had to explain it?
Sammy.
When I go to Las Vegas, North Las Vegas.
How long is this? Oh, there's only a minute. You want to get it? It's called
Get it.
Cliven Bundy's Racist Remarks on YouTube.
Oh, boy. There's probably a lot of responses for that one. Cliven. His
That's
name's
a cool
Cliven.
name, though. Cliven Bundy's a great name.
Cliven Bundy. Cliven Bundy, sir.
Yes.
Is it, which one is it?
Yes.
I mean, again, there's a few of them. Is it this
Video,
one?
yeah, that's the one that was just sent to me.
I want to tell you one more thing I know about the Negro. when I go through Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and I would see these little government houses, and in front of that government house, the door was usually open, and the older people and the kids, and there's always at least a half a dozen people sitting on the porch.
Mm-hmm. What do you call them?
They didn't have nothing to do. They didn't have nothing for their kids to do. They didn't have nothing for their young girls to do. And because they were basically on government subsidy, and so now what do? They abort their young children. They put their young men in jail because they never learned how to pick cotton. And I've often wondered, are they better off as slaves picking cotton, having family life and doing things, or are they better off under government subsidy? Yeah, they did get more freedom. They got less freedom. They had less family
less freedom now
and their happiness. You can see in their faces they weren't happy sitting on that concrete sidewalk. Down there, they were probably growing their turnips.
Did he just say growing their turnips?
Growing their turnips.
Say that.
That's not freedom.
He's a true.
Yeah, he is a true idiot.
That's an example of why maybe people aren't ready to move on, okay?
Oh, is that fantastic?
Because you do ask that from time to time, but You know
what, though? I've seen black people that have said shit that's equally as racist against Whitey.
That is true. However, black people have never, in an armed way, held off the U.S. government. I can't remember the last time a black group held off the government when they showed up.
And don't you think in terms of like discrediting him?
Yeah.
There is something to be said about no matter what his cause is, I don't think I can trust that guy to be a leader.
You're getting hung up on the language.
It's not the language.
When he says, I'll tell you about the Negro.
Yeah.
He means the African-American community. Don't get all wrapped up in semantics, Sam Roberts.
It's not semantics. Yeah. He said that maybe the reason there's so many black men in jail is because they were never taught to pick cotton.
Yeah, and something about how they give us something to do with their families and their kids.
And don't forget,
it wasn't a family activity.
I did like how he said also that the women give themselves the abortions and the men put themselves in prison.
Right.
Like, that's what he said. They put themselves.
That's what we're gonna. Well, I could go to jail. I'm very bored, so I guess I'll go to jail.
I need something to do. I so wish that there was slavery.
And you can learn how to sing, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do
Don't
that.
Don't forget about the singing.
And why can't
some of those
people
damn songs are quite catchy.
Plant their turnips. Just plant your turnips and behave.
Did he say why can't they plant their turnips?
He did say that.
Turnips suck.
I think they were a lot happier out in front of a bunkhouse.
Yeah.
Planting turnips and maybe coming into the main house to play a little fiddle for the proprietor.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I would, no matter what the cause, whether it be fighting off the government or just talking about social issues, I would not trust him for anything.
You know, it's hard. Semantics are one thing, but at certain times it's hard to trust a guy to lead a cause. Like, let's just say, no matter how good a politician is, if you walked into a room and you just saw him holding a log of shit and eating it, you'd probably go, it's hard for me to listen to him on other issues.
Yeah,
which is what
follow you.
Cliven Bundy is doing
Holy
here.
shit. Do you think he drops N-bombs, that guy?
Negro. That was called a course correction. Because he was like, let me tell you something about the Negro. Yes. Can you play it? It sounded like he caught himself. He forgot there was a camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's him catching
It's right off the bat here.
That's the real bad thing.
Listen.
This is his media voice.
Right.
Yeah. This is him cleaned up.
I better check myself.
I'm aware cameras are in my face.
Right.
So.
It's time to be charming and have the masses approve me.
This type of speech should be videotaped from like a covert location, real far away, under a desk. The camera's right in his face.
Yeah, not only is it not covert, he actually, are we on? All right. And he quieted everyone down.
I got something to say.
The Negro. I want to tell you one more thing.
You're ruining it.
That's as far back as it goes.
Yeah.
Spoiling it.
There is no farther back to go.
All right, let's go.
The Negro. I want to tell you one more thing I know about the Negro. When I
He really came close.
Who says Negro?
Negro.
That's not
They're saying Negro.
There's no O in there.
Negro.
Yeah, I don't think this is as much a case of the media trying to dissuade people from his cause as it is, we just realized this man is an ignorant buffoon.
Yeah, it's hard to, look, he can say what he wants. He is just using his own honest point of view, but it's really hard to defend a guy who says, I don't know if they were better off because they didn't get taught to pick cotton and plant their own Like, the way he's writing off, he's forgetting parts of slavery. He's forgetting that slavery wasn't white people going, come on, family day, plant some turnips and have a good time.
Right. We're going to give you something to do if you want.
Right.
Are you bored? Come here.
Here you go.
Free.
Right. White people worked in the factory, black people were slaves, but we were all working. That was what was important.
Yeah. How benevolent of me to give you this entire field of cotton to run around in and have fun.
He forgets that.
Do you get that he is speaking about black people as if they're a different species altogether?
He kind of was.
Like the ingrained superiority in everything that he says.
This guy is amazing.
He's a hoot.
He's a hoot. He is a hoot.
He didn't mention the children being ripped out of their mother's arms and sold off, and he's forgetting a few details.
Leaving a few things out.
That didn't really upset anybody. I mean,
that's true. They figured they just had something to do at another place.
Exactly.
Oh, look, they're getting to travel.
Yes, to travel.
Plant turnips in other places. That's how Cliven looks at it.
And it gave the children a new sense of independence into adulthood.
Right.
I say, thank God there's no slavery, because that means more people could see Jim Norton tonight at Caroline's.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Although I don't see anybody. A lot of black people don't show up to my show.
They don't do that?
No.
They got other things going on?
Maybe you should give them something to do and make it mandatory.
That's true.
They're all on their porches, putting themselves in jail and giving themselves
That's true.
abortions.
Do you guys want? We can plant turnips at my show.
Oh, that'd be great.
You got to pepper some of your jokes with Negro.
American Negro.
Just pepper it around a little bit. A little bit.
This guy,
he's something.
And he couldn't look more. He's got the cowboy hat, the white long short sleeve shirt, his big fat gut and a long tie. He's everything you think he is.
You know what's fucked up though? I mean, now the liberal media is taking him and putting him out there as the representative of everything that is Republican, everything that is Tea Party, anti-tax, anti-government, pro-Second Amendment. Like now, he is the face of all of that. And you can in turn, though, take, there was a professor recently that had some awful things to say about the right. I don't see that being spewed out there and him being representative of all liberal professors on college campuses that are indoctrinating America's young people into this leftist, socialist, communist fucking lifestyle.
But before he opened his fat mouth, was Fox News making him the face? We're fighting back against the government. This is the face.
Because he was fighting back.
Okay, but he was the face, and then the face opened his mouth, and then everybody goes, listen to what the face said.
Just because he's saying a few things that some might find offensive does not mean
doesn't represent the man himself.
Other good points. You know what? I bet my mechanic can fix my car perfectly. Can he maybe make a good drink? No, you get a bartender for that. But it doesn't discount his ability to be a mechanic anymore because he can't tend bar.
But I would say that this discounts Cliven Bundy's ability to lead in any sense.
Yeah, because the bar example mechanic, I can't picture O'Reilly or Hannity giving that example as this audio plays in the back. And the problem with the Negro is he was better when he was a slave because he could plant turnips. Well, bartender and mechanic are different professions.
People do garden, and they do enjoy it.
It's a rough one. And Sam's right. They were the ones making him the leader by the way they spoke about him.
Maybe they should.
Okay. Save it for the field. It's time to rock.
It's time to rock.
See, he would have been more successful if he had just said that.
I know. Save it for the field. It's time to rock.
Maybe Fox probably should have done a little bit of homework on Cliven.
Or whoever,
and figured out before we
I'm saying
celebrate this man. Yeah, let's figure him out a little bit.
The message that came forth with a big government, intrusive government, going into this guy, going to this guy and confiscating his property and conjuring up this feeling of big government being intrusive. That was the true message. And nothing he really said kind of affects that message, which is the people have to be vigilant of an intrusive, tyrannical government.
He's your Che Guevara.
But now he might say things and spout off, you know. I mean, Jimmy the Greek said some things, but he was a good handicapper with the sports.
We're missing a really great observation.
Oh, yeah?
Terry in Pennsylvania, get the clip ready again. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey, good morning, boys.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, that motorcycle that you heard in the clip there, that was Fox News getting the fuck out of there.
Can you play that again? You don't have to play the whole clip. It was like, it was near the end, so go like halfway. That is funny, man.
Men in jail because they never learned how to pick cotton.
Oh, God.
And I've often wondered, are they better off as slaves picking cotton, having family life and doing things, or are they better off under government subsidy?
Transfer. They just transferred it, that's all.
Yeah, they didn't get no more freedom. They got less freedom. They had less family alive, and their happiness, you can see in their faces, they weren't happy sitting on that concrete sidewalk.
There goes Shepard Smith. There goes Shep.
That was the O'Reilly cycle with his spin stops here bumper sticker on it.
The only thing spinning are his tires to get the fuck out of here.
That's funny.
The no spin zone.
That's funny. Very good. What? No?
That was the motorcycles doing wheelies.
Fuck.
Because the guy's got a gut.
The guys have a dump on deck. They'll be right back.